good as pilot as supposed to, as you have to, and you might kill yourself. So don't fool around. And now, again, about the tail rotor. You got to be careful when you're turning to the right, even when you're hovering. If you're turning to the right, very in high speed, let's say, I don't know, many turns per minute, the tail rotor might go to a stall, and it will go. You lose the effect of the tail rotor, because the tail rotor, when you turn this way, the tail rotor running into the turbulence which is just create, and then over there is not air to, there's not air pressure to push to go back to your place, because you are go to an empty area. So you got to be careful when you make a right. Now, tail rotor also, you're losing its effect when you go to high altitude and in low speed. When you go to high altitude in an area which out of ground effect, you can see it in the book. When you go in out of ground effect, let's say you're flying and you are talking to your friend and you forgot that you get out of speed, you got to zero speed. You got a zero speed, the air up there very high, let's say 2,500 feet height above the sea, and the temperature, let's say standard temperature, 15 Celsius in the sea level. You might again lose the tail rotor effect, because the air up there is very thin, and the helicopter, the tail rotor, the air pushing that direction wouldn't be sufficient to stop the reaction what doing to the helicopter, the main rotor. So when you come to this situation, you're gonna see, you find yourself no speed, and you find yourself with full foot almost, or maybe full foot to the left, and you're still not turning to the left, you're still flying, you're standing straight. And if you're going higher, where is more thinner area, or let's say you give more power, then you lose, then the tail rotor will come to insufficient power to overreact what doing to us the tail rotor, the main rotor. Then you're gonna start making right. Even your full leg is all the way in that situation. Do not wait till you go see yourself 180 back. Then from this situation, you gotta start turning to the right with losing control on the helicopter, because the tail rotor standing over gonna be again in the situation of losing its effect by going into the tail rotor stall. Okay, so you gotta react before. When you see the helicopter wanna take to the right, you put full left, it doesn't help you. Full left pedal doesn't help you. All you gotta do, reduce power. You reduce power, the main rotor will stop. His mass to go to work on the tail rotor, and also less power have to be by the tail to work, to do the job, because actually the tail rotor do the job in any case in the same power. How come? You have a 100% RPM, and we have full pedal. All you got when you only reduce the main rotor power, which is the showing the manifold pressure, you become okay. So actually you reduce the collective, and by reducing the power, you are, and also as happened when I explained before, on the when you are hovering, and remember when we say that you are putting over a sudden the collective and you put it back, or either you reduce the throttle you do the same over here. You reduce the collective. If it doesn't go straight, you reduce throttle. Doesn't go straight, you put the collective all the way down, enter auto rotation, and this will get you out of it. So you gotta remember, this is very dangerous. The main dangerous things for us is in helicopter is the limitation of the tail rotor. There was two big helicopter with twin engine come to the situation of losing tail rotor effect by hovering in a high altitude, and didn't help him that they have two engines. It's even become worse for them because you have more power what can create more power on the main rotor, and there's not enough power. There is no enough pushing air opposite direction from the tail, then you go to that problem. So you got to react immediately, otherwise you find yourself twisting this way and going down to the ground. Okay, you might don't kill yourself, but you break the aircraft and you might get injured. Okay, this is about the tail rotor. We got to remember this, and we're going to look for other things. Meantime, let's take a break. Right, to continue, we had a break, and we would like to say some more things about the different with the helicopter pilot and the fixed-wing pilot. You got to remember that it's going to be very dangerous to fixed-wing pilot when he can't start flying helicopter. You come here close, I will explain you what it is. And fixed-wing airplane and a very high altitude, we are trying with the mixture lean, we are trying to save gas consumption, fuel consumption, you know. So what are we doing? We are pulling this a little bit in fixed wing till we see the best RPM we're getting in the propeller. Okay? And the best RPM we're doing by this in a fixed wing. But, if we see it's become worse, then we go back a little bit, then will be the optimal. We'll see the optimal, the best RPM in the propeller, in the prop. Then we leave it that way. We're going higher, you might go need a little bit to push a little bit, to pull up. In helicopter, you're not playing with this. You get killed by doing so. You don't touch this, that's why in red color over here, and this you keep it all the way down. Why are you not using it in helicopter? Because by playing with this, if you pull too much, you might gonna have too lean of gas going into the carburetor, and then you lose the engine. And if you don't have altitude enough, let's say you are not good pilot, you are not good maneuvering with auto rotation, or let's say you're doing auto rotation, but you're good in auto rotation, but you are in above city, or let's say you don't have enough altitude to get out of it, so you might get killed by playing with this. So this is out for helicopter to lean the gas and high altitude. This we're using in helicopter just to shut off the engine by putting all the way up. That's it. You don't fool around with this. Now there's another thing which it can happen to a pilot, which they got nothing to do with fixed wing. When you are taking off from the ground, it might happen to you that you forget to open this knob. This knob over here, actually, in my opinion, should be also painted in red, because as student pilot, when you get a first solo flight or a cross-country flight, they might forget this on. And they didn't realize that, because they'll be able to take off, to hover, and then they will be able to continue flying the airplane and not even to go down. And they might get crashed from hovering. I'm telling you this, it's because this happened to me when I was a student in Florida, and I took off, and I saw this is luck. I forgot it on. I mean tight. So I was lucky. I was good in landing with rolling landing. So I did rolling landing on the runway while I'm running on the ground, and that way I got out of it, and then I released it, and then I start my flying again. So you gotta be careful with this. Now we continue to talk about low G. Low G can happen to you in any altitude. It's happened to me when I was a student in solo flight. So I have a little bit over confidence. I have too much confidence. So when I come to land into the runway, so I was playing like I'm fixed wing. So I come that way, and all of a sudden I put the nose down. All of a sudden I put the nose down, I start to get flick to the right. Okay? So since I have more experience with a fixed wing, home-built airplane, which he has a very big engine to compare related to his weight, and he was taking me to the right each time I was pushing forward the stick. So I had experience with it. So what I've done, I pull it back to this direction to me, and I got out of it. So, and then I start put it back, release it slowly by slowly, and I got out of it, and I land safely. So remember, you have too much confidence is no good. You gotta play, you gotta fly all the time like you are in dangerous situation. All the time you gotta think. What you gotta do? You gotta think that you are not doing abrupt maneuvers, especially in helicopter. You don't do no abrupt maneuvers, because abrupt maneuvers, you get a reaction to the other direction, and you get confused what's happening to you. You say, what's happened? I'm pushing forward, and I'm going to the right. I never did that. Then you try to straight the right to the left. This is not the way. You got to do the opposite what you have done, whatever brings you to that situation. If you bring you to that situation, pull a turn to the right, I mean twisting to the right, yeah? You got to, by pushing forward, you got to pull it backward. Actually, you never play with low G. You never play, you're not experienced. You want to experience low G, you go to fixed wing airplane. You fly with fixed wing airplane, climb up, and all of a sudden put the nose down. Then you see your head going to the cockpit above on the ceiling of the airplane. Then you know what is a low G. So when you feel you don't have no weight on your ass, that means you are in a low G. You got to realize when the low weight starts, not when you don't have it anymore and you start, איך אומרים לרחף באוויר? בוא הנה. לרחף. You start hover. לא כמו חללית. תגיד את זה. אז צלם. Okay, now we continue. So low G is very, very dangerous situation. You might get killed by getting into this situation. So you got to learn what is low G. And the low G is actually when you're going, change direction from up to straight, or from up to down. So, and you have speed. So don't do so. Don't do so. If you go backward, all of a sudden you're allowed to do so, but not forward. So remember, you never push forward the stick, and you have a sign here which say so, and say, do not push forward the stick, above pushing the stick, okay? So actually you're getting help by looking in all those safety notice. You gotta pay attention to this. And I gotta tell you that we have very safe and very good aircraft. Robinson 22 can be better, can be others, and Actually, if you love the aircraft and you don't fool around with it, you don't do abrupt maneuvers, you're flying according to the rules, and you're flying the gas, you have enough gas, you check pre-flight very well before you're flying, and before you do takeoff from the ground to have a position, you got to do everything by the checklist, okay? You take checklist, and you do, some people have checklist very, very details, very much details. It's not mine. And some pilot have other checklist, let's say like this. Okay? So, especially pilots been flying once a week or once every 2 weeks, they should go by the checklist every time before they do the takeoff and before shut off and all other things. Now, regarding the temperature and all those things, actually, we learn this at school, watching this in the beginning, and later on we don't pay attention and we don't go by that. All we got to do, see what is your weight, what is your passenger weight, and by experience, you know, if you have high weight passenger, you won't be able to do certain maneuvers with the aircraft. It'll be very hard for you to take off, and you gotta do the takeoff by running parallel to the ground, by helping by the ground effect. Then when you are gonna have the lift by the lift which you're getting by the speed, then you'll be able to do the takeoff. We call it translation of lift. So where we're heavy, we must do the takeoff by get help by the translation of lift, as I say. And if you're still heavy when you come in to landing, so you gotta come first close to the runway and hover with speed before you do the full stop, because you're gonna need again the ground effect before you're losing the translation of lift, which this creates only above 15 miles per hour of speed. Okay? So when you are heavy, you must keep the speed even when you are landing. You can come by hovering with a high altitude and start going down, because if you are heavy, you won't be able to do so, and when you stopping your speed, you might start sinking, and you're gonna try to stop it by pulling the collective, and then you're gonna get into settling with power, which is again your aircraft, the helicopter start sinking and going into the turbulence of the main rotor, which just create, and you keep sinking, and you wouldn't be able to get out of it. So you got to remember, when you are heavy, keep the speed up before you do the landing. Okay? And when you are high altitude, also you should keep the speed up, because if you stop the speed, you might go also to settling with power, and you wouldn't be able to get out of it. One pilot told me, he was instructor pilot, that he lost 1,500 feet before he got out of settling with power. So you got to be careful and don't fool around with those things. You got to exercise with flight school, and don't get too overconfident, because in helicopter you never be good enough. You always have to learn, you always have to watch up and to be careful. Let's say one more thing I want to tell you is, you see, okay, cut. Actually, it's good to come with the speed when you come to landing, okay? So you sink down into the ground effect area, which is the height is about the length of the rotor, main rotor. This is the ground effect. As much as you go lower, the ground effect is better, and you should come always with speed, and doesn't matter even you come to like a quick stop maneuver each time you come to landing. So it's good for you. And this is all about many places they don't check when you do a 100-hour check. They don't the mechanic not cleaning that filter, oil filter, cooling oil filter, cooling oil radiator, sorry. And you gotta watch this also to make sure they are doing it. And let's see what else is important for you. All right. Okay, all the rest you learn from the book. Okay, you learn from the book. You watch very well. You should learn the shaded area. The shaded area teaching you a lot. Where, what altitude, and what kind of speed you're gonna have. You're gonna need for to get alive instead of losing your engine. So it's a lot of fun to look into it. I want to show you how it looks like. Take a look over here. אתה רואה את זה? This we call it shaded area. The shaded area is over here. So this means when you are on 650 feet height, you can go even zero speed, and you can go be success in auto rotation from here, 650 feet, even with zero speed. Let's say you are over here, for example, over here. Let's say you be here. Okay, over here, you must have over here at least 35 miles an hour to be in 250 feet height to be success in auto rotation. You see, you go down here, you see 35 miles an hour over here. You go up over here, then you go to the left, and you see you got to be at least in 250 feet height in altitude, yeah, to be success to get out from situation of losing engine by using auto rotation. This is very important. So actually, each time you're flying, you got to remember every minute where the wind, from which direction the wind comes from. Because when you lose the engine, you want to do the landing, the forced landing, into the wind. So every minute, remember where is the wind. When you're checking, when you say all gauges is green, no warning light, all fuses are down, you have enough fuel. So remember, say to yourself, the wind comes from the west. Say to yourself, the wind comes from the north. Or from this way, You got to remember this. It might save your life by remember that. Why? Because if you do auto rotation to the downwind direction, you lose so much altitude, you wouldn't be able to to land with success, and you might get killed for not remember where the wind come from. Okay. Now, as I said before, you check your weight. If you have a heavy pilot, you don't take much fuel. You got to take half fuel. If you have heavy pilot, or no more than 3/4, and if you must use the full fuel in boat, then you might be able to do takeoff by running takeoff, and on the next airport when you come, you might be with less fuel, so you might be able to land safely with regularly, or you might, if you go to a high field altitude, you might have to be prepared to do the landing by running landing. So what you do? You find out which way, what is waiting for you, what surprise you're gonna wait for you, if you'll be able to do so or not, safe landing or not. So first come with speed to ground effect. Okay? You try to, when you stop it, then you see what happened. If you see you are sinking, when you still have speed, it means you wouldn't be able to land if you come to other position. So continue with running landing into the, scratch the landing gear into the runway, slowly, carefully, gently, and then you stop the aircraft. Okay, this is as far as explanation go. Now I'm going to explain you how we come from the ground to hovering position. This look very simple, but it's not, and there's very much procedure involved, and I'm going to explain you while I'm doing so. So let's start the engine now. Going to take this guy for a ride. As meantime, you're going to see what I'm doing. Just wait. Okay, we have another 12 minutes to finish this cassette, so we are going to demonstrate you starting engine and doing takeoff, and we do any other flight till you finish the film. And in case I won't be able to say goodbye to you, I'm saying now, you might get around out of the film before I be able to do so. Okay, you see I've been holding in my hand a page with before starting engine procedure. So actually you check seat belt, the fuel shadow valve if it's on, cyclic collective friction off, see everything is loose, okay, cyclic collective pedal loose also, check by moving it, and then throttle, you check the throttle is closed position, and you see the range is okay, collective also again up and down, you see it's working, take the friction back on, pedal as it's a neutral, governor off, governor is on the stick over here, and over here, on the collective, you put it in off position, okay, carburetor hit, no, circuit breakers over here, Salem, over here, all the circuit breaker over here, they're all down, nothing is in pulling up position. Pulling up position is, let's say, like this, you see white, if you don't see white, the spin is in, okay, everything is down, then carburetor heat is, my left foot is all the way down, then you check mixture reach, full reach, which is over here, as I said before, all the way down, this is the knob you put over here, and then you put that guard over here, this way you don't fool around in case you are fixing aircraft pilot, don't fool around with this, then, so we put this for you, even in red color, don't pull it up because you might get killed by losing the engine, okay, all the way down, all the way, okay, now, what do you have left here? Mixture gas, we put it on, as I said, primer, as you gives gas a little bit with the throttle, all switch avionic off, check everything is off, except this because I'm going to need to by talking to you, and now we go clutch disengage, it's over here, this is clutch disengage, put telemetry over here, see, this is clutch disengage, okay, now, then we go altimeter, field altimeter, field elevation is 100, so we keep it in 100 over here, this is the altimeter, okay, now we're going to rotor brake disengage. If you see there's no light here, that means the rotor brake is see brake, see say brake here. If this is not on, means is not on. Okay, okay. Now map light is off. Now it's starting. Master switch on. We have it on. Then we're going to throttle twist prime as required. 1 or 2 is enough. Throttle close the throttle, put it all area clear, there's nobody here. Now stop light on, we have it on from the beginning because it's broken, switch is broken, so we keep it on. Now ignition switch start, and then we put both the ignition both, and then over here, okay, we leave it, starting, then we leave it in both, and then we're going to have the, according to the list, we are going to have the clutch, okay? The clutch we're going to put engage, and no delay. Why no delay? Because the belt start turning on empty on the wheels and they might get wear. So that's why you must put it immediately, the clutch switch to engage position. And then the alternator you got to put also quickly, because otherwise we're going to lose juice in the battery. Okay, and the blades, the main rotor blade, you got to start turning less than 10 seconds. If you start turning after 6 seconds, sorry. If you start turning after 10 or 15 seconds, mean the belt it's not tight enough, or he come to his to his end as far as his life go. Okay, you got to check the oil pressure in 30 seconds, come to 25 psi, and avionic headset you put on, and wait for clutch light out over here. See, clutch light is going to be on, and then when it be off, then you're going to put here the RPM. You're going to put 70 to 80 to warm up the engine. So I'm going to do so, and you're going to see the procedure. Okay. Now you stay here, okay? And when I take off, you got to get out, okay? Now you stay here, okay? Now we're going to start the engine, okay? All right, this we put over here. Over here you put over here, okay? And then you put one left hand on the collective, okay? And then you're going to start to, then you're going to start the engine, okay? Okay, now we got to put in 55 RPM. This is the RPM gauge over here. See? RPM for engine, and also for the main rotor as well. Left needle is for the engine, right needle is for the main rotor. Okay, now we're waiting. I'm putting right now the friction off because I don't want to forget it. Okay, because I might don't, and I see it over here. Loose or releasing the friction of the cyclic because I don't want to forget it later on, and I don't want to use no more the list because we don't have enough time. All right, now what we want to do now is want to wait that this gauge is going to be in green. Otherwise, I'm not allowed to take off. So I'm waiting for this to go in green. So now I wait for the clutch light go off. You see, no more light on. Now I'm going to 70 to 80, put throttle, while the collective is all the way down. Adding throttle, and now we have 70 to 80. Between 70 to 80, we're going to have the needles, you see. And over here, we are waiting till the temperature over here go to the green. We want to have about 1/8 of an inch. This go to the right. Okay, we have enough fuel over here. We have 3/4, a little bit less. Oil pressure is okay. It's on the green. Oil temperature is okay. Perhaps it's too early to check about that. Now let's see. We are waiting 70 to 80. We're still waiting. Okay, meantime I talk to you about some other things. Do you see green stuff over here? Till we get green, let's talk about something else. You see the green stuff? Okay, this weight is actually the runner put as the additional weight into the ankle over here. So let me tell you, the ankle over here, they put over here. Why? Because they want to have more weight to the muscles of the body, of the foot, work harder. So over here in helicopters, they are shaking all the time. The cyclic shaking. So we put it over here, this weight over here, and this weight over here is a little bit reducing the vibration, see, of the cyclic, and less vibration is less wear up there, all those parts turning above us, okay? We have less wear of those parts, okay? 70 to 80, we keep it on. Now we have it now on the green. Okay, where is on the green? Now, we are going to do takeoff, and we explain you what I'm going to do. You go, stay forward, and I explain you, okay? wait. תשאר פה, אבל לא על הסקיד. לא פה. אחורה, זהו. Okay. Now, since I got the green, okay, then closing the door of my passenger. C is locked. Okay. Now we're going to put it back to 100. 100, okay? 100. Now we're going to check ignition. Now we're going to check ignition that we're losing no more than 7% when I'm using other ignition, other spark plug. Let's check it out. This is okay. This is okay. Now I'm checking the on 1, 2, 3. I'm checking. I'm checking. The on. If it's on, I put it back the RPM to 97 while I'm picking up the collective. So you see manifold pricing going up. The light going off over here, and the on is off, and now I'm put it all the way down while I'm put the throttle to 0, and I see the two little gas separate. This means the clutch is be able to separate itself from the whole system, and the airplane be able to do auto rotation. Now I'm going to do takeoff. Rami, Eli, now you're going to see what I'm going to do. First put the needle to the bottom of the green, release everything, carburetor is cold, and start picking up the collective. And you see over here, you see how is the manifold pressure going up, and while you're doing so, the little one will go up. About how to fly this helicopter in a safe way as far as my knowledge. Why I'm saying as far as my knowledge? Because I'm not saying that I am the best specialist about it. It's as far as my knowledge is now, that means it's limited to as far as what I'm knowing, is my experience. So you better be suspect on me. Whatever I said, it might be not 100% right, especially when the language, the English language, is not my mother language, is not my homeland language. I'm an Israeli. I'm born in Israel. I just was living in the United States for 14 and a half years, and I got my license over there, and I got also Israeli license, but still my words sometimes mean something, to say something, but the words was differently. So if I just mention that, so I better correct something after I watch my first shot, the last shot. I saw many words was not correct. For example, when I want to say, if you abrupt push forward the cyclic after he was climbing, the helicopter, instead to say, will roll up to the right, I was saying twisting to the right. Twisting is more this way. Rolling is this way. So many words I don't even know I forgot already because I left the country 10 years ago, United States. So I forgot many words, so I'm using whatever I remember, and you forgive me for that, and that's why I said you suspect me that I might be wrong about things I'm saying to you as far as the language go, and you know what? Also about the flying go. I think I can learn more. Even I'm a commercial pilot in both countries. Why? All those schools I was, and I was in about 4 schools in the United States, they didn't teach important things that I almost got killed for that because they didn't teach us. And I don't mention the school name because it's against my religion. Now, I want to repeat for my son. His name is David Sela. He's in the Israeli Air Force. I learned some navigation parts, electronic parts of the aircraft, and he might want to learn to fly helicopter. So I'm saying this to my son. If you, other people, strangers, watch this, it's your business, but this is for my son. Okay, now my son, Eliezer. This machine, it looks very nice, like not dangerous, doesn't do nothing, but this can be a monster. And the monster, he doesn't listen to you. He tell him do something, and he might do something else. And for that, you need a lot of experience. The word is experience. Salem אותו. Okay, this was... תצלם אותי עכשיו. This, we took that shot just for the fun. Alright, so yeah, this is a look helicopter, like a baby, right? Beautiful, red, white, nice, you know? It's very small, doesn't do nothing. This can kill you, my son, this can kill you. And if you want to stay alive, you gotta be scared, you gotta be afraid, all the time. From the very beginning, before you even hover, you gotta learn what to expect, how the things go. If you learn how to hover very well, then you start going next. Then you start moving. Then you start, turning. As far as turning go, right turn is very dangerous. Left turn is not. Why? Why? Because when you do right turn, the tail rotor is going into the turbulence that it creates. So if you turn, rate of turn, too many turns per minute, you might reach the turbulence and you be fast, not you, the tail rotor. Reach the area of the turbulence, then you come to the vacant, empty area. Vacuum. Okay? We call it. So you come to the empty, no air. So nothing to push anymore. Then you're like in the space. Alright? Then you lose your tail rotor effect. And then you're going to turn like cat running after his tail without controlling it. So that's why right turn you do slowly, by slowly, very slowly. Left turn, it's alright. Why? Because the tail pushing air this way, and all the time, every second you're going to clean air. No turbulence in this area. The turbulence is in that side, this area. See in my hand? Over there. From here, there, from the tail, this direction. Look in my hand. Over there is the turbulence. Circle wherever you go, wherever you reach. So be careful about that. Now, also, let's say you want to land. Let's say you want to land vertically. You are in two dangerous, not one. Why? Because if you're going down, if you will go down, rate of descent too high, too quick. Again, the same problem. The main rotor also creates a turbulence. So the main rotor, we can reach those turbulence, reach them. And then also the main rotor is going to space, to empty area, which it won't be enough that for the turbulence, let's say the air going this way, going down. And the rotor want to push this way in order to stop the high rate of descent. It won't be able to do so. Why? Because it's going to go into the air which going already down. So you're going to, it can't. What is the helicopter do when it's going down? What is do? Okay, like if I hold my hand on the ground, okay, and I hold it myself from falling down. Okay, let's say I want to do push-up. I release.